So about a month and a half ago, I created a video showcasing another 10 incredible apps that are not available on the Play Store. Now, the comment section of that video seemed to make it very clear that you guys like this sort of content. So as long as I can keep finding these apps, we'll keep making them. And find more, I did. So here are another 10 incredible applications that you cannot find on the Google Play Store. Are you ready? Let's do it. All right, last time we started with F-Droid, and so this time we're starting with Aurora Droid. So one of the only negative comments I made regarding F-Droid was that the design of the app leaves a little to be desired, and so that's where Aurora Droid comes in. This is actually a third-party client of the F-Droid application, but with a much cleaner design. It actually has even more repositories available to sync from than F-Droid does, but then everything about the design, from the text to the icons and everything else in between, is a serious step up from F-Droid. So if you love that app, then this one is well worth checking out. And so if there's an alternative to F-Droid, how about the Google Play Store? Well, there is, and it's called Aurora Store. So if you liked the fresh UI offered by Aurora Droid, then you'll love the look and design of Aurora Store. And as the name indicates, it is a complete third-party replacement of the Google Play Store. What's really cool is that you can actually browse and download apps without an account at all. So a pretty neat and viable option if you're looking to avoid using the Play Store. Now, whilst we're on the topic of third-party versions of mainstream apps, Instander, or however you pronounce it, is a really impressive mod of the Instagram app. So there are two versions that you can grab. One that is a cloned version of Instagram, meaning you can actually install it next to the real Instagram app if you want, or there's also an original version, which will mean you'll need to uninstall the stock Instagram app before installing it. But either way, once you have it installed, what you'll quickly discover is that it looks very similar to the stock app. But then if you dig a little deeper, you'll see that a whole host of additional features are unlocked. So you can long press images to zoom in on them, or you can enable higher quality posts and stories. And there's even things like ad blocking and being able to read messages without the other person knowing. And honestly, there's a heap of other features as well. And so it's definitely worth checking out. And so staying in the theme of third-party social media clients, FaceSlim is a third-party Facebook application that, unlike the mainstream version, prioritizes your privacy. Now, you'll notice that the UI resembles the web-based version, so it's not quite as smooth or as sleek as the first-party app, but with all of the concerns surrounding Facebook's privacy policies of late, if you're on the fence and perhaps considering just giving up on the platform altogether, then using FaceSlim could be a solid option instead. And then we have Calendar Trigger. This is a more utility-based application, but it has a pretty cool trick up its sleeve. So similar to apps like Tasker that you can use to automate certain actions on your phone, Calendar Trigger, as the name so helpfully suggests, allows you to automate actions based on calendar events. So perhaps you want to set your phone to silent whenever a work meeting starts. Well, this app will let you set that up. Or perhaps you want a specific notification to sound. Well, again, that's something that you can set up. That's really the sort of functions this app is limited to, but it's still a pretty neat solution to just making life that little bit easier. All right, let's cover off a few quick and simple apps. Firstly, there's Coffee. Now, I feel like this app used to be available on the Play Store, or at least a version of it, but I couldn't find it again when I went looking. But this app is essentially just a quick settings tile that will temporarily set your display timeout to infinite. Handy stuff if you usually like having a short display timeout setting, but occasionally you need your phone to stay active a little longer. Side Apps Bar is another app with other versions available on the Play Store, but I think this one might have the nicest design. Once set up, all you need to do is swipe in from the swipe zones on the side of your display, and then a little bar of app icons and shortcuts will appear for easy access. There's a pretty extensive list of actions and tools you can set up to appear in this sidebar, so a pretty nifty application. Offline music players are becoming less and less of a thing these days, but for those still interested, Pulse Music is a fantastic option. The main talking point here is the design. Beautiful and minimal, just the way I like it. But then aside from that, the app features playlist support, theming options, a sleep timer, plus a bunch more. Okay, along with the recent announcement of Windows 11, it was revealed that for the first time, Windows 11 devices will be able to run Android apps. The catch? It's via the Amazon App Store, and guess what? That also ain't available on the Play Store. It is essentially another Google Play Store alternative where you can download both mainstream apps as well as some that aren't available on the Google Play Store. And so given its potential usefulness when it comes to Windows 11, there's probably never been a better time to check it out. And so finally, we have Blockada 5, a free and open source ad blocker and privacy application. Now, this app does rely on creating a VPN to work, but once you've got it all set up, it works pretty well and blocks most of the intrusive ads you'll come across. It's not flawless, and some ads will sneak through the cracks, but it's free, it's got a great design, and it's definitely worth a shout. And so there you have it, another 10 applications that are not available to download from the Play Store. Now, this is the third episode in this series, and with each new episode, it has become increasingly harder and harder to find good apps that aren't on the Play Store. And in fact, several of the apps in today's video came straight from the comment section of the last episode. So if you have any apps that also can't be found on the Play Store that haven't yet been featured in this series so far, then let everyone know down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to put together another episode in the future. If you enjoyed this video, then a sub would be amazing, and don't forget to follow me over on Instagram and Twitter for access to promo codes for paid apps that I release each month. Aside from that, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will catch you later.